gun stuff quick.
I was just going to ask.
We got way off track.
I don't know. It's fun.
I was going to ask you if because you did numerous things in your tenure.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a favorite weapon system or platform that you personally got to use, not necessarily watch someone else or whatever?
I'd say it would have to be my recce gun that John built for me. So that recce gun I got in 2001.
Jesus.
Old school. Yeah. Old school. So 16-inch Wilger barrel, night 4 in. I kept that one all the way through the end. Swapped the barrel a couple times, but I had, and John probably know this too.
You swapped the barrels because you wore them out or because
wore 'em out.
Okay.
Yeah. But that gun went on every combat op, just about at least 90% of them.
Well, what was the whole setup?
So Colt lower,
Yep.
night foregrip, Geisley trigger, or forearm foregrip, whatever you call them. Wilger barrel. I had OpSync suppressor, then an AAC suppressor.
Oh.
And I think I might have had a night suppressor too. I don't know. I went through a few different ones, but
Yeah.
just a classic.
What
16-inch.
optics did you run on it?
The first one was
There's a lot of optic changes.
I was
between
gonna say,
2001 and 11.
so the first one was a Leupold, like a 2-10, like a
variable power.
little. I think it was 210, maybe like a 2-8 or something.
They're variable by 2000.
I figured. I just have always seen the fixed 10 powers on a lot of shit.
No. Yeah, so a little Leupold variable power with a. We first started. One of John's gunsmiths welded a Picatinny rail on top of our rails for the first JP mounts. That's one I wish you could get back. Like, we should have patented that thing. But we mounted our JP red dots on top of there. Started there, went to Night Force.
So that was just for quick?
It's quick up close. So it sat on top of.
Which is really popular now.
Yeah. So
Development group, I
Were
imagine.
yours, did you guys ever run into, I know I've heard it on the Army side, were you ever running, it was like mill reticle MOA turrets?
Yeah.
Or the MIG.
we
like
get in
Marine Corps Navy thing.
Oh my God,
that was dumb.
Yeah, dumb. Yeah, so started Leupold, went to Night Force.
Oh, that 2-10 Night Force was.
Yeah,
I still
I
have a
ran that
couple.
thing
They're
forever.
great.
Yeah.
I like them. They just brought it back out, I think.
They did
there's
an
one on our
XX8,
desk.
I think 2-10 or 2-12 or something.
Yeah, it's 2.5 to 10 or something.
Yeah.
I've got one on my desk.
Yeah, those are great. So that one lasted a long time.
What buttstock did you like?
I think I had the SOP mod on there forever, and then I went to the
that.
Me
CTR.
too.
Yeah, the SOP mod is my favorite, but it's too heavy. So the CTR.
Yeah, CTR is fine.
That's what Eric Burt
I was
did
gonna say
at
Eric did that one,
Reptilia.
right? Yeah.
So for those of you watching, Eric Burt Reptilia did the CTR
The
stock.
SOP mod feels good on
It's
your face for sure.
wonderful. It's got that nice rubber butt pad. Not that you need it, but it's just grippy.
And you can put your whatever, some batteries in there and fucking Skittles or
Put your
whatever.
smokes in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I love those stocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Having
was
that
set
good
up forever.
cheek well, it's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that one went to Afghanistan a bunch of times, Iraq a bunch of times, made its way to Africa maybe once or twice.
What
around.
you ran a bipod on it?
Yeah, I had old Harris bipod on it.
Yeah.
Lawn furniture.
What about
That, and then I went to the old Magpul little like angled foregrip thing.
yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
For a while,
wow.
yeah.
I forgot about
Oh,
those.
nice.
Yeah, not the whole grippy thing. Never really got into those things. Yeah,
What about what ammo were you shooting?
Black Hills 77 grain. That thing, the killer.
That's put a couple people in the ground before.
Yeah, it works. It shoots really good, and it works. I mean, we mixed it up a little bit with some 87 grain stuff and some 70 grain tipped and stuff, but 70 grain or 77 grain was the one I shot most of.
How far were you comfortable with that setup? With 10 power, with the
Man,
5.56?
we would train to 1,000 with that for a 5.56 gun. It's not going to have a ton of energy left, but
I'll outshoot you any day.
Did you guys ever mess around? We had John McPhee on, and he had that chop down SR25. Did you guys ever mess around?
yeah,
with
we
the
started
chop?
out with another one with John. So we came back from Iraq when we started going back into Iraq in 05, 06, running the SRs, which are 20-inch barrels, I think, on the SR25, original barrels. Anyway, so it's super long,
At
big,
least, yeah.
clunky gun. So we're trying to figure out a way of having a 308 gas platform that I could fit in and out of vehicles. So we brought this down to John and some sniper guys and I, like, hey, we've got to figure out how to do this. So John brought in, I think he chopped my barrel, the first one. Then he got some different barrels in, and we went 25 or 12-inch barrels and 13 and tried everything under the sun, tried to get it to work.
Was a 417 was a 12-inch.
Yeah. So that SR, it shot. It wasn't great. Like, minute and a half gun or so. So we took that one to Iraq in 07. I carried it a little bit, and then Spanky carried it for a while. But yeah, we started that whole thing back in 06, 07.
Anytime with the 308 scars, the 17s?
No,
No.
not a scar guy.
Yeah. I've heard both sides.
Junk.
He left white side, and he's like, scar.
Yeah.
I left white side when it was still cool.
Yeah.
When he was sucked into the SOCOM stuff.
It seems like short 308's a little harder to do than people think.
It is. And we fought with a bunch of them with the 417s and had problems there. And I think they're still having problems with whatever version they replaced those with afterwards.
Both groups seems like start getting some dumb stuff.
Yeah. I don't even know if they're going. I think they've switched off from 308s completely now.
Yeah. You know, me and Trey Knight, that's how that started.
Is that you've got that 260?
Yeah. So,
awesome.
Did I ever tell you this story about Terry about the 260? They were. So it was after the Remington deal, and I was going through the lawsuit, so I couldn't really work for anyone, but I still wanted to support. And when I realized there was a bunch of small guys in y'all's groups and stuff like that, it's like,
What are you looking at me?
Not Terry, but other guys.
Yeah.
well, you're strong though, but there's some guys that don't
stumpy.
Yeah, don't work out. They're just like 135 pound dudes, and it's like, Jesus Christ, that SR-25 is heavy. And so I had dinner one night with Reed Knight and David Tubb, who is one of the best shooters in the world, and he'll let you know it.
Oh yeah,
which is cool. Like he's
very confident.
Yeah, and I learned.
I like Dave. He taught us a lot.
Yeah, I love Dave, and at one dinner I learned more than I did probably the rest of the year. And listening to him, and I didn't even know about 260 but he starts telling me about it, and like hit probability, shooting flat, like the recoil, like all these things, and this dude's shooting like offhand 1,000 yards with iron sights. So I'm like, well, he probably knows how to shoot. Mm-hmm. And so I thought about it, and then. It was always in my head after talking with Dave Tubb. I'm like, let's build the lightest SR-25 we can in 260, and I'm going to take it to the groups. Like, that's the thing. And so we did it, 18-inch barrel, and the gun weighed a pound more than an M4. And I was like, this is the shit. It's like a pound and a half, 2 pounds heavier than an SR, or lighter than an SR-25. And I was like, 260, like, it'll kill shit. And, so I took it to one of the groups and got, a bunch of dudes on the range, and they shoot it, and they're like, yeah, fuck, it's awesome. I was like, yeah, that's what I thought. Like, recoils like halfway between the 308 and an M4. Easy to shoot, lightweight, 1,000-yard gun. And then, so they shot it some and all, and then kind of the guy in CDD at the time, he's like, look, it's cool. Because I had no stake in it. I was just like, you guys should do this, and Knights will make it for you. They said, it's just the ammo, like us having a non-standard ammo, because we get so much from the Army, like whatever. It's like, it just doesn't make sense, but thanks, it's a cool idea. And then, all it was like 2 years later, next thing you know, like a new guy's in CDD that shoots competition, is a sniper, and fuck, and then it's 260. But it was like that gun and them talking about it. And so then
I wish I'd have seen that.
6.5.
That would have solved the problems a long time ago.
I've got it here. There's only, you think now all that night stuff is so like kooky as far as prices and collectors. This is one of two. I've got one, and Trey Knight has the other one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it made lots of sense. So it's cool to see like the groups doing stuff that's non-standard in that regard.
Yeah, we went after I left the sniper shop. The guy started shooting the 260 LaRue's, which is another one of your good friends. But ballistically, he was shooting very similar to our 300 Win Mags.
Yeah, well, that's what Dave told.
Yeah,
Dave
so we could shoot.
Told me it's like same trajectory as 300 Win Mags.
So we could shoot that, practice wind calls and ballistics and everything else, but not have the recoil.
Yeah.
Dave he was the first one that really taught me like long range spin drift and Coriolis. He was doing left hand twist barrels and like all this stuff. It's like, oh my God, you're like in the rabbit holes. But
I'm not into everything he does, but he's definitely smart and experienced, and you can learn a lot from him.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, so the recce gun was my favorite for sure.
Bill Rapier said the same thing.